Jamaica has natural resources, primarily bauxite, and an ideal climate conducive to agriculture and also tourism. The discovery of bauxite in the 1940s and the subsequent establishment of the bauxite-alumina industry shifted Jamaica's economy from sugar and bananas. By the 1970s, Jamaica had emerged as a world leader in export of these minerals as foreign investment increased. Weakness in the financial sector, speculation, and lower levels of investment erode confidence in the productive sector. The government continues its efforts to raise new sovereign debt in local and international financial markets in order to meet its U.S. dollar debt obligations, to mop up liquidity to maintain the exchange rate and to help fund the current budget deficit. Jamaican government economic policies encourage foreign investment in areas that earn or save foreign exchange, generate employment, and use local raw materials. The government provides a wide range of incentives to investors, including remittance facilities to assist them in repatriating funds to the country of origin, tax holidays which defer taxes for a period of years, and duty-free access for machinery and raw materials imported for approved enterprises. Free trade zones have stimulated investment in garment assembly, light manufacturing, and data entry by foreign firms. However, over the last 5 years, the garment industry has suffered from reduced export earnings, continued factory closures, and rising unemployment. This may be attributed to intense competition, absence of North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, parity, drug contamination delaying deliveries, and the high cost of operation, including security costs. The government of Jamaica hopes to encourage economic activity through a combination of privatization, financial sector restructuring, reduced interest rates, and by boosting tourism and related productive activities. In April 2014, the governments of Jamaica and China signed the preliminary agreements for the first phase of the Jamaican Logistics Hub, JLH, the initiative that aims to position Kingston as the fourth node in the global logistics chain, joining Rotterdam, Dubai and Singapore, and serving the Americas. The project, when completed, is expected to provide many jobs for Jamaicans, economic zones for multinational companies and much-needed economic growth to alleviate the country's heavy debt-to-GDP ratio. Strict adherence to the IMF's refinancing program and preparations for the JLH has favorably affected Jamaica's credit rating and outlook from the 3 biggest rating agencies. Economic history. Before independence, Jamaica's economy was largely focused on agriculture, with a vast majority of the labor force engaged in the production of sugar, bananas, and tobacco. These products were mainly exported to the United Kingdom, Canada, and the United States of America. Jamaica's trade relationships expanded substantially from 1938 to 1946. With total imports almost doubling from 6,485,000 liras to 12,452,000 liras. After 1962, the Jamaican government pushed for industrialization by trying to attract investments from foreign companies. Although the manufacturing and services sectors have grown in the second half of the 20th century, Jamaica's economy still faces some serious problems. The Jamaican economy suffered its 4th consecutive year of negative growth, 0.4%, in 1999. All sectors excepting bauxite, alumina, energy, and tourism shrank in 1998 and 1999. In 2000, Jamaica experienced its first year of positive growth since 1995. Inflation fell from 25% in 1995 to single digits in 2000. reaching a multi-decade low of 4.3% in 2004. Through periodic intervention in the market, the central bank also has prevented any abrupt drop in the exchange rate. The Jamaican dollar has been slipping, despite intervention, resulting in an average exchange rate of $73.40 per $1.00 and $136.2 per €1.00. February 2011. In addition, inflation has been trending upward since 2004 and is projected to once again reach a double-digit rate of 12 to 13% through the year 2008 due to a combination of unfavorable weather damaging crops and increasing agricultural imports and high energy prices. Over the last 30 years, real per capita GDP increased at an average of just 1% per year, making Jamaica one of the slowest growing developing countries in the world. To reverse this trajectory, the government of Jamaica embarked on a comprehensive and ambitious program of reforms for which it has garnered national and international support. A 4-year extended fund facility, by the International Monetary Fund, IMF, providing a support package of $932 million. World Bank Group and the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, programs providing $510 million each to facilitate the GOJ's economic reform agenda to stabilize the economy, reduce debt and create the conditions for growth and resilience. In addition, the International Finance Corporation, IFC, and Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency, MIGA, will continue to support private sector development. The reform program is beginning to bear fruit. Institutional reforms and measures to improve the environment for the private sector have started to restore confidence in the Jamaican economy. Jamaica jumped 27 places to 58 among 189 economies worldwide in the 2015 Doing Business ranking. The country's credit rating has improved and the government has successfully raised more than $2 billion in the international capital in the markets in 2014 and 2015. Despite some revival, economic growth is still low. The Jamaican government is forecasting real gross domestic product, GDP, growth of 1.9% for the fiscal year 2015-2016, and the country continues to be confronted by serious social issues that predominantly affect youth, such as high levels of crime and violence and high unemployment. Jamaica, which had seen its poverty rate drop almost 20% over 2 decades, saw it increase by 8% in a few years. The unemployment rate in Jamaica is about 13.2%. April 2015. Statistical Institute of Jamaica, with youth unemployment more than twice the national rate, 38%. However, among Jamaica's assets are its skilled labor force and strong social and governance indicators. Primary industries. Agriculture. Agricultural production is an important contributor to Jamaica's economy. Agricultural production accounted for 7.4% of GDP in 1997, providing employment for nearly a quarter of the country. Jamaica's agriculture, together with forestry and fishing, accounted for about 6.6% of GDP in 1999. Sugar has been produced in Jamaica for centuries. It is the nation's dominant agricultural export. Sugar is produced in nearly every parish. The production of raw sugar in the year 2000 was estimated at 175,000 tons, a decrease from 290,000 tons in 1978. Sugar formed 7.1% of the exports in 1999, and Jamaica made up about 4.8% of the total production of sugar in the Caribbean. Sugar is also used for the production of byproducts such as molasses. rum and some wallboard is made from bagasse. Banana production in 1999 was 130,000 tons. Bananas formed 2.4% of the exports in 1999, and Jamaica formed around 7.5% of the total production of banana in the Caribbean. Jamaica stopped exporting banana in 2008 after suffering from several years of hurricanes that devastated the plantations. Coffee is mainly grown around the Blue Mountains and in hilly areas. One type in particular, Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee, is considered among the best in the world because at those heights in the Blue Mountains, the cooler climate causes the berries to take longer to ripen and the beans develop more of the substances which on roasting give coffee its flavor. Coffee formed 1.9% of exports in 1999. The picking season lasts from August to March. The coffee is exported from Kingston. Cocoa is grown throughout Jamaica and local sales absorb about one-third of the output to be made into instant drinks and confectionery. Citrus fruit is mainly grown in the central parts of Jamaica, particularly between the elevations of 1,000 to 2,500 feet. The picking season lasts from November to April. 2 factories in Bog Walk produce fruit juices, canned fruit, essential oils and marmalade. Coconuts are grown on the northern and eastern coasts, which provide enough copra to supply factories to make butterine, margarine, lard, edible oil and laundry soap. Other export crops are pimento, ginger, tobacco, sisal and other fruit are exported. Rice is grown around swampy areas around the Black River and around Long Bay in Hanover and Westmoreland parishes for local consumption. As tastes have changed in Jamaica in favor of more meat and packaged food, the national food import bill has grown to the point that it threatens the health of the economy. The government has responded by encouraging gardening and farming, a response which has had limited success. For example, the percentage of potatoes grown locally has increased, but imports of French fries have continued at a high level. Animal husbandry. Pastures form a good percentage of the land in Jamaica. Many properties specialize in cattle rearing. Livestock holdings were 400,000 head of cattle, 440,000 goats, 180,000 hogs and 30,000 sheep. Although animal products and numbers of livestock are increasing, this isn't enough for local requirements for a growing population. Dairying has increased since the erection of a condensed milk factory at Bog Walk in 1940. Even so, the supply of dairy products is not enough for local requirements and there are large imports of powdered milk, butter and cheese. Fishing. The fishing industry grew during the 1900s, primarily from the focus on inland fishing. Several thousand fishermen make a living from fishing. The shallow waters and cays off the south coast are richer than the northern waters. Other fishermen live on the Pedro Cays, 80 miles, 130 kilometers, to the south of Jamaica. Jamaica supplies about half of its fish requirements. Major imports of frozen and salted fish are imported from the USA and Canada. The total catch in 2000 was 5,676 tons, a decrease from 11,458 tons in 1997. The catch was mainly marine, with freshwater carp, barbel, etc., crustaceans and mollusks. Forestry. By the late 1890s, only 185,000 hectares, 460,000 acres, of Jamaica's original 1 million hectares, 2,500,000 acres, of forest remained. Roundwood production was 881,000 cum, 31.1 million cu feet. In 2000, about 68% of the timber cut in 2000 was used as fuel wood while 32% was used for industrial use. The forests that once covered Jamaica now exist only in mountainous areas. They only supply 20% of the island timber requirements. The remaining forest is protected from further exploitation. Other accessible mountain areas are being reforested, mainly with pines, mahoy and mahogany. Mining. Jamaica was the third leading producer of bauxite and alumina in 1998, producing 12.6 million tons of bauxite, accounting for 10.4% of world production, and 3.46 million tons of alumina, accounting for 7.4% of world production. 8,540 million tons of bauxite was mined in 2012 and 10,200 million tons of bauxite in 2011. Mining and quarrying made up 4.1% of the nation's gross domestic product in 1999. Bauxite and alumina formed 55.2% of exports in 1999 and are the second leading money earner after tourism. Jamaica has reserves of over 2 billion tons, which are expected to last 100 years. Bauxite is found in the central parishes of St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, St. Anne, and Trelawney. There are 4 alumina plants and 6 mines. Jamaica has deposits of several million tons of gypsum on the southern slopes of the Blue Mountains. Jamaica produced 330,441 tons of gypsum in the year 2000, some of which was used in the local cement industry and in the manufacturing of building materials. Other minerals present in Jamaica include marble, limestone, and silica, as well as ores of copper, lead, zinc, manganese and iron. Some of these are worked in small quantities. Petroleum has been sought, but so far none has been found. Secondary industries. Manufacturing. The manufacturing sector is an essential contributor to the Jamaican economy. Though manufacturing accounted for 13.9% of GDP in 1999, Jamaican companies contribute many manufactures such as food processing, oil refining, produced chemicals, construction materials, plastic goods, paints, pharmaceuticals, cartons, leather goods and cigars, and assembled electronics, textiles and apparel. The garment industry is a major job employer for thousands of hundreds of locals, and they formed 12.9% of exports in 1999, earning $159 million. Chemicals formed 3.3% of the exports in 1999, earning $40 million. An oil refinery is located near Kingston, converts crude petroleum obtained from Venezuela into gasoline and other products. These are mainly for local use. The construction industry is growing due to new hotels and attractions being built for tourism. Construction and installation formed 10.4% of the GDP in 1999. Manufactured goods were imported and formed 30.3% of the imports and cost $877 million in 1999. Since the launch of the Jamaican Logistics Hub initiative, various economic zones have been proposed throughout the country to assemble goods from other parts of the world for distribution to the Americas. Tertiary industries. Tourism. Tourism is tied with remittances as Jamaica's top source of revenue. The tourism industry earns over 50% of the country's total foreign exchange earnings and provides about 1/4 of all jobs in Jamaica. Most tourist activity is centered on the island's northern coast, including the communities of Montego Bay, Ocho Rios, and Port Antonio, as well as in Negril on the island's western tip. Jamaica received 2.09 million visitors from January to August 2013. Some destinations include Ocho Rios, Green Grotto Caves, Y.S. Falls and Appleton Estate. Most of the tourist sites are landmarks as well as homes for many Jamaicans. Many of the most frequented tourist sites are located mainly by water, such as rivers and beaches, where fishermen make a living from seafood. One of the most famous beach towns in Jamaica is Ocho Rios, located in the parish of St. Ann on the north coast of Jamaica. It was once a fishing village but now attracts millions of tourists yearly. The site is popular today because of the food and culture that can be found there. Another famous location in Jamaica that attracts millions yearly is Dunn's River Falls, located in Ocho Rios. This waterfall is approximately 600 feet long and runs off into the sea. Around the location, many hotels and restaurants are available and many street vendors sell food around the clock. Another well-known beach town is Negril, the party capital of the country. This beach town has many different factors to add to the nightlife. Negril Beach Trails was named one of the top 10 best beaches in the world. Logistics, rising to join Singapore, Dubai and Rotterdam as the fourth node in global logistics. The Jamaican government has embarked on a restructuring of the economy, deciding to utilize its location at the center of north-south and east-west shipping lanes to become the choice of global logistics companies to be the hub of the Western Hemisphere, serving a market of 800 million, and becoming the gateway to Europe and Africa. With the establishment of the logistics hub, Jamaica is set to become an important part of the global value chain. Preliminary agreements with the Chinese government were signed in April 2014, marking the first step in the restructuring of the Jamaican economy. ICT, BPO. Over the course of the last decade, Jamaica has made immense strides in developing its information and communications technology, ICT, infrastructure. Today, the island is a highly competitive and attractive business destination and a regional leader in information technology export services. ITS. As the largest English-speaking territory in the Caribbean, Jamaica is the region's leading contact center location with over 30 information communications technology, business process outsourcing, ICT, BPO, companies operating in the country employing 11,500 full-time agents. Taxation, tax rates. Jamaican tax rates are extremely favorable in world standards. The brackets are as follows. Separate tax rates apply for foreign nationals. Further reading. Ball, R. and Wallace, S. 2007. From Income Tax to Consumption Tax. The Case of Jamaica. Finance Archive. Public Finance Analysis. 396 to 414. World Bank Trade Summary Statistics Jamaica 2012. Partners in Austerity. Jamaica, the United States and the International Monetary Fund. From the Center for Economic and Policy Research. April 2015.